xTool continues to innovate with the release of version 1.7 of xTool Studio. In this video, I'll talk about the major change for this version of the software, as well as some changes to the software that really improve productivity and will help you as you're designing the things that you cut out and engrave on your laser. So let's get in there and let's take a look at the changes in the software.
So probably the biggest change to this upgrade going to version 1.7 of xTool Studio is the change in the files themselves. So when you save a file in xTool Studio 1.7, it'll actually change the extension. So this is the dot, letters at the end of the file name. So these will end in .xs instead of .xcs. The xcs, of course, refers to the xTool Creative Studio. And these files are not compatible with the older files. Version 1.7 can open the .xcs files. And if you do, I'll open up an older one here just so you can see. The file will open and you can view and you can fully edit it. However, whenever you want to go to change or save any changes that you've made, then you have to save it in the new format. So here I've got this file open and I'm going to be presented with this note at the top that you must save this in the new format. So if you just click save, it's going to give you this prompt and it's just letting you know that we're going to be saving in the new format. And you can just click Save As. And then it will bring up a dialog where you can save it. I just wanted to also note that you can go to File and Save As. And then you can click Save Locally. And then you can change this to .xcs. If there's some reason that you still need to save it in the old format, then you can do it by going to File, Save As. But just keep in mind that if you make any changes to your document or to your project files and you try to save that in the .xcs, it will likely not keep any of the changes that you've made using new features in this new version of xTool Studio. So let's take a look at some of the new features that are in this version. So first, let's start with the templates library. On the left-hand side of your navigation, you'll see templates. You'll see the icon for templates. So click there, and then you can expand. And you can see here we have different categories for the different types of templates that are available. Just to check one out, you can click on See All. So here's one for Father's Day. And let's import one into the canvas. And of course, this is resizable. But the nice thing about this is that the text is editable. And you can add text to it, but as you can see, if you get a little bit too much text or if you change the proportions a whole lot, then you may need to adjust some of the settings, like maybe adjust it to fit. So just keep that in mind. So next, let's look at the measurement tool. This was an addition, or this is definitely a welcome upgrade. So I'm going to put in a couple of rectangles for us to work with here on the next couple of features. And to get to the measurement tool, you'll click on the applications and then go down to measurement. This is under the efficiency tool. And with a measurement, the new thing here is that you can make multiple measurements, and if there is a measurement history. I really like this. So if you've never used the measurement tool, you simply can hover over one of the lines or sides of a shape that you already have in your canvas, click once, and then pull over to the next shape that you're trying to measure to. And you'll see the measurement there on the line that you're measuring. You just click again, and then that measurement is actually stored over here in this measurement history list. And you can make multiple measurements. So if we needed to measure the height of this, you could do that as well. It doesn't have to be from one shape to another or parts of a shape. You can actually just measure anywhere on the canvas and it will record that. You can also measure angles. So that way this works is you start on one of the vertices of the angle. You will click there, go to the vertex of the angle, and then come off of it to the other leg of the angle. And then now you'll get a measurement. So of course this one is 90 degrees, so that works out well. You can clear your history by just clicking clear all, and that will clear both the distance and angles that you have stored. So the next feature we want to look at is the improvements to arrays. So to show this, I'm going to click on the Elements menu, and then let's just drop in this star. I'll decrease the size there. And now let's go back to the Applications menu, and then we're going to click on Grid Array. So the improvements here is that now you can both set the distance between elements in the array, or you can set that distance on center. And I really like this because this is something that, I've run into situations before where I need shapes spaced on center. And so in this case, I'm just doing 1 inch on center. You could do 2 inches or whatever you want to do. And then now any new rows or columns that you add in will continue to be on center at this interval. So it's a very nice feature to be added into this to the array tool. So the next feature I want to show is the improvements to the Boolean operations. So this is where you can select 2 objects, and it works best if it only works actually if they're intersecting or touching in some way. So we'll highlight both of those and select both, and then we'll go up here to the Combine menu, and it will actually give you a preview, whereas in the past it did not. You'd have to click on it and kind of see what happens, but now you can see what it will do if you make that selection. So this is very useful. The next new feature is that you can place path text on the inside or outside, or even centered on the path that you join it to. I didn't really know much about this feature prior to this, but this is something that can be very useful. So to do this, we'll just put some text on the canvas, and then we'll have a shape. So this could be any shape. It could be a rectangle, triangle, a circle. And then what we're going to do is bind this text to follow the path of the shape that we have. So I'm going to highlight both, and then I'll right click on the selection, and then I will click Attach Text to Path. Now the text is joined to this path, and that shape is no longer something that'll be cut out. It's simply the path for the text. And you can see as I slide it around that shape, the text is bound to it. Now the change here, or the added feature, is that if we go to the More menu, you can change where the text is placed. So you can be centered on that path. It can be on the inside of the path. And of course, the problem here is that now they're all bunched up. So you could adjust the spacing to account for that if you wanted all the text to be on the inside of this path. So pretty nice feature, pretty neat thing to play around with. So the last important feature that I want to mention in this video is that they now allow you to set what the mouse scroll wheel does for the canvas. So to do this, let's go up to the Settings wheel, and then we'll go under the General tab, and then scroll down just a little bit to the Editor, and you're looking for Mouse Wheel Default Action. So my default when I move the mouse wheel is to move the canvas. So scrolling up and down would move up and down on the canvas. You can change this to be zoom. So that's a pretty nice feature. So that way you can be use that to zoom in and out, and it all just depends on your own personal workflow. So I like seeing options like this where you can make your work more efficient in software. So thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful in giving you some ideas about what the software can now do and what's changing. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.